Hello, everyone. We'll just give an additional minute for everyone to join in. Okay, think we can start. Good morning and good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the webinar titled The Three Hurdles to Digital Transformation and How We Can Overcome Them. Presented by Nugent Software, a leading provider of digital process automation, content services, and customer communication management platform with a multitude of implementations across the globe. I am Gunjan Kalita, and I shall be your host and a moderator for this webinar. Today we have Anurag Shah, Nugent's AVP and Head of Digital Products, as our speaker. At the end of the presentation, we'll be having a question and answer session. We request you to type your questions in the question window of your GoToWebinar anytime throughout the presentation. I shall take them up at the end of the session with our expert. With that, I hand it over to Anurag.
Thank you, Gunjan. Hello, everyone, and welcome to this webinar. Uh, the digital transformation, it almost seems like an ever-changing and dynamic ongoing journey. All the organizations, and in the last few years, and especially in this last 9 months of dealing with COVID, the organizations have come to terms with digital and how they can achieve it. Today, we are going to look at the three hurdles which are typically encountered by most of the organizations, and how we see overcoming those. So that's the agenda for today's webinar. Let me go to the next. Let's look at what are some of leading industry analysts are talking about the digital transformation. So Forrester, it says that the top drivers for digital transformation are to promote agility and innovation in trying to improve your existing IT capabilities. And we are going to relate this and talk about this in my next few slides, that what really that means. What are your existing IT capabilities? How do you improve those and how do you include agility and innovation in what you provide as IT arm of your organization to the business who are your customers? What kind of innovations are you doing with new products? That becomes a very important part of the digital transformation driver. And it is across the horizon of multiple verticals, not limited or specific to any vertical. Customer experience again is probably one of the top driver, which drives a lot of things. How do you improve that, and how do you become more agile organization in trying to accomplish all of the things? How you still contain your cost or better reduce your cost and still be able to achieve these drivers and these objectives. Now, at the same time, in one of the other reports, Forrester also says, in fact, they interestingly compared the journey or the improvement or the journey of digital transformation with how people do their home improvement projects, and they compared how you do decorating your home versus renovating, and just the incremental improvements. They kind of compared in digital parlance the incremental improvements given by the IT and the organizations to the business as really the decorating and not renovating your entire home. That was interesting comparison. I thought that I would cite that here. And of course, Gartner says that the organizations in last few years, again especially in last 9 months, to kind of be specific, have become increasingly aware of the road to success, and that's what they are saying: digital, digital, and all the way digital. However, Gartner is also saying that in embarking that journey, the organizations are coming to term with a new reality, which is uncertainty. In their road or in their way to digital, the uncertainty, and we are going to talk about a few of those aspects, how those come in your way and how you deal with that. So, what are those three typical hurdles that we generally see? Of course, the lack of contextual engagement. I mean, if you look at this lack of contextual engagement, information silos, and inordinately high IT dependency, if you look at these all three, I mean, every digital transformation initiative, it may include certain immediate goals, but ultimately that must lead to the fulfillment of your broader enterprise goals. So whether you take an example of a customer journey, how you acquire a customer, I mean, right from the first contact to taking the customer through acquisition to maintaining and servicing the customer, the entire journey, multiple steps, or your customer experience. Even if you take a specific customer experience as an example, how that one goal may lead to the next and next and next, and ultimately broader enterprise, accomplishing broader enterprise goals. So if you look at lack of contextual engagement, I mean, generally most of the organizations, and there is this I would call misnomer that providing omni-channel, I mean, if you provide the engagement of the customer through portal, mobile, in branch, and all of that, generally it used to be perceived as, okay, I am giving a contextual engagement. Not really. Even with all of those omni channels, most of the times the processes are lacking the context, and I'll detail this out in next slide with few examples and what kind of solution we talk about that. If you look at the next one, information silos, right? The disjointed processes, disjointed systems, almost leading to a standalone function within the organization, and multiple of these standalone functions, which more often than not induce the friction in the engagement with the customer. The IT dependency, high IT dependency. What do we really mean here? I mean, there are a lot of interpretation to this, but in the recent years, more and more there is a demand of more and more app development, more and more process automation, and with all of this demand, it is almost like leading to ultimately taking the IT bandwidth, almost choking the IT bandwidth. And in years to come, it is only going to increase. It is only going to kind of become unmanageable. And with all of these, I mean, even if you are meeting your immediate goals, that may not be enough. If you have this strategy and a path that meeting immediate goals must ultimately, like I earlier said, must ultimately result into holistic and strategic goal accomplishment, which will give you output in terms of your desired customer experience. If you don't do that, just few immediate goals achievement will not be enough. So let's look at how we see overcoming these three hurdles. And let's take few examples. Let's talk about what we really mean when we say contextual engagement, bridging the silos, and mitigating the IT dependency. So if you look at the contextual engagement, right? I mean, whether it is meaningful and information and relevant information, or including the or embedding the content within the context of the service. So, for example, if you look at customer service request management, where a customer is coming in and again, the channel could be anything, but if the customer is coming in with a request or a claim or a query, irrespective of which channel the customer is coming in, if the information which customer has provided, combined with that, whatever historical information you have in a customer, the CRM kind of thing, or your core system, or your underlying business applications, when you combine those two, and the content could be anything. It could be data coming in from the customer engagement. It could be documents from your internal archive repository, or media, audio, video. It could be anything. But when you are able to combine all of these and then present it into the engagement, be it customer facing or internal employee facing who are servicing that customer, when you do that, that's when you bring the context into the engagement, and the customer also is able to see that yes, this organization knows what I did 3 months back, what I did last year, what I did 5 years back, and what are my concerns today. So it gives that feeling that yes, this organization is understanding me right from the first to the last touch point. And also your internal employees, your stakeholders who are servicing that customer, they get to see the holistic 360-degree view of the context, that yes, this stuff, I mean, whether it is an insurance or a banking or a citizen facing service, the entire 360-degree view becomes very important in not only a great customer experience, but also to ensure the first time right delivery of the services. And we say that if you embed the content services in your process, and of course with the adequate security, who gets to see what, who gets to work on what, that will give you this contextual engagement for both the customers as well as internal employee facing. Let's look at bridging the silos. I mean, of course, we are saying that we have to connect the front office and back office and improve the handoffs among the teams within back office, between front and back office. There may be certain middle office. So when I say front and back office, I mean the front office could be your all customer facing channels, social, your branch, your customer portal, or contact center. It could any of those things where the customer is interacting with your organization, and how you take that to the users and employees in your organization who are servicing and who are working on providing the service which customer has requested. How do you build that connect? So we have seen that there are these silos, there are these A's and decades of old organic and inorganically acquired systems, applications, functions across multiple departments, and they exist among same location, different locations, scattered across geography depending on how your organization is structured. And if your organization also includes third parties who are your partners, and how you connect with them, then it altogether takes it to a next level of complexity if those are not connected. So how do you look at all of these again at a 360-degree view, and try to kind of expose all of the interfaces which are required to connect these loose points, and And in the process, you also need to be cognizant of the security, the authentication for your internal and external operations, how you connect your external partners to your internal operations and systems versus how you provide your internal employees, what are the kind of data and view and connection. And then again, there is this customer who is coming through any of the channels that we spoke about. How you provide all of those information again through connecting all of these applications back to the customer, that becomes very important, and how you kind of unify everything together. The last one, which is mitigating IT dependency, is really about the gap that we see, which is widening and increasing with every year, every time that goes by. That what is today required was not required, let's say 6 months back or a year back, and what will be required in 3 months or 6 months or a year from now is not known today. So the speed at which the business is coming, the market is coming, the vertical is coming back to the IT, that I need these many apps, I need these many applications, or all of those. That need and the gap at which, and at the pace at which IT can really fulfill is increasing, and it is increasing exponentially, not even multifold, it is increasing exponentially. And we saw those Gartner and Forrester predictions that in next 2 to 5 years, it is not too away in the horizon. In next 2 to 5 years, the IT bandwidth is going to almost choke. So that's where a low-code digital automation platform kicks in. It is the only way, and it does not mean that your IT organization is going away anywhere. It is just that the speed and the agility at which the IT organization, or in combination with IT and business, how you provide what is required, it is only possible with low-code platform going forward. The traditional way of doing the app and the systems are not going to uh, give you the desired output, what you want. So in that, you would need your domain experts, because the moment you bring in low code, it is not only the technical team. You need those domain experts from your business, from your center of excellence, from your experts, and all of the knowledge workers who really know your business in and out, so that they can include uh, their brains into the low code application that are being configured rather than customized or developed. So at this point in time, let me introduce the News and Low Code Digital Automation Platform, which uh, which includes, if you look at right in the center of the slide on your left, the orange circle, you see processes, content, and communication. So those are the three pillars of News and Low Code platform. The processes means the intelligent business process automation framework. Content is content services, and customer communication management. Those are the three pillars which constitute the 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 low code automation platform that News and I would like to introduce here. And what it really does is it provides. I mean, if you look at the outer circle where you see social, web portal, mobile, in-person, email, messages, scan, all of those are the channels through which the experiences are transformed and provided to your customers. And if you look at the inner circle where all of those technologies are mentioned, whether it is robotic process automation or artificial intelligence or machine learning or analytics, APIs for connecting your systems, single sign-on, and securities for authentication and security. So all of those technologies are available to be utilized within this platform, outside this platform, in combination. And in the process, the 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 verticals that you see there, whether it is shared services, insurance, banking, government, other industries, those are just indicative list of verticals in which News and Low Code platform has been used to provide all of the digital transformation that we are talking about. Let me go to the next one and kind of expand on what I was speaking in the previous slide. So if you look at the low-code application development, right, what are your tools that you need? Right in the application development block, the user interface designer, data modeling, mobile app development, your rules engine to configure the business rules, the screens that you design, whether those are responsive, whether it can appear on all the devices, be it mobile, tablet, laptop, PC, irrespective of the real state of the screen. How do you manage your decisions within that? So those are your application development tools, which are exposed through the underlying low-code platform that we saw in the previous slide, news and low-code platform. And what you do along with the application development, what you do is you automate your process, and in the process of automation, you use those process modeling, analytics, robotic process automation, and case management to kind of take the customer inputs and take it through the journey of business process automation. And if you see the digital touch points right on the top, those were the channels that we looked at into the previous slide. So all of those touch points are encompassed within this to provide that contextual customer engagement, provide the communication to the customer, provide the service to the customer. And what it also tells you, what it also lets you do is, if you look at the left pillar, right, applications and templates. So using this application development and process automation tools, you are able to configure the templates and applications which could be used and reused across your customers, across your business processes, across your digital touch points, across your customer contact centers, or in-person interactions, or social, all of those. And it cuts across all the verticals, like we saw in the earlier slide. So what we are trying to say here is a platform, and especially the low-code platform, which is ideal for building your digital solution, and it must include those three pillars: the contemporary content services, the intelligent business process management, and your customer communication part of it. And the communication, again, could be either through email, or through your social channel, or through your mobile text, or through your printed document, irrespective. The communication, you should be able to communicate in the preferred channel of customer, and not really with what you have as a system or capability. So the customer communication management should play a greater role. That is the ultimate customer ultimate delivery to the customer based on whatever application development and process automation and the contextual engagement that we would have accomplished. The customer communication becomes the ultimate delivery of providing the output of all of these as a result. Just a quick recognition about the low-code platform, the news and low-code platform that I just talked about. It is there in Gartner's Magic Quadrant, both the low-code application as well as the content services. And same goes for Forrester. The various product components have been individually featured in various reports: content platform, case management, process automation. One of the key differentiator that I would like to highlight here on this slide is that you would rarely find a product suite or a platform which will have all of these components and organically stitched together available in one single platform. You would find these products across multiple vendors, and then you could acquire it from multiple vendors and try to stitch it in the process of implementation, but you would rarely find a platform giving everything inbuilt together within the platform. And that's the first differentiator that you see here: unified platform. All the three pillars within one, organically developed, which means that you don't struggle with integrating these products together. It comes almost as a plug and play. It's like your iPhone. You download one app and it sits right there on the iPhone. So the platform is almost like an iPhone, and all of these are plug and play with the same code base, same technology, no retraining of users. Once a user has started working on one, seamlessly can go to another, and so on and so forth. And there are several add-ons which again can sit on top of this platform. Whether you need a robot to be doing certain repetitive mundane tasks, or you need any machine learning. Let's say you are getting a lot of documents and you want to identify and avoid manual intervention there, identify what kind of documents you are getting, whether those are tax returns or application forms or other types of forms. Can we do an automated classification? You want to connect with your digital channels, Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, so on and so forth. So all of those add-ons are available for you to use for multiple use cases: banking, insurance, manufacturing, servicing, all of those verticals. And the last point, multiple entry points. Really, what we are saying is that whether you want to use this low-code platform as a tactical replacement of one of your challenge that you are living with, or you want to remove one of the legacy old point solution and bring in the digital application instead of that, or you are embarking on an enterprise platform. You have all those three options are available as an entry point within your organization. So why really Newgen, right? Of course, the first point is winning partner. When we say winning partner, it means that we work with you, with our dedicated solution consulting team, who will kind of do a proof of concepts for you. So if it is a low-code platform, then why not see something before you commit to something? And we share your opportunities. So we co-own your success. We bring in the value-driven partnership with you. And when you are embarking on a low-code journey, we invest with you along with our product, our consulting, our solutions, and all. And and with the right offer, of course. You don't. I mean, you need a lot of flexibility around the execution model, around the flexibility, and depending on what option do you choose as a low-code platform entry within your organization, a tactical replacement or a point solution replacement or enterprise-wide, whether you want a low-cost entry or that kind of thing. So we have those as offering. So let me take a pause here and see if we have got any questions. I kind of took a little bit more than the time that I had planned. Hope we can spill it over by 4-5 minutes to kind of take the questions.
And thank you, Anurag. We have some questions from the audience. Let me take them up one by one. So the first question that came in was, we have automated business processes using RPA and have built capabilities around this. Is there any difference to a digital automation platform?
Oh yes, I mean that is we all the time we hear it, and this is a classic dilemma between so-called robotic process automation and digital transformation. So what we really see is that when you are implementing those bots, you are really automating a specific repeated mundane task, whether it is replacing an Excel macro or doing a pre-programmed logic at certain step of the process. But what it lacks, or where it kind of creates a friction, is when there are exceptions. None of the process, no matter how repetitive it is, no matter how mundane it is, none of the processes will always be 100% successful. You are bound to get exceptions, deviations, and failures within the process. The percentages may vary. The exceptions in certain repetition, you may find 5%, 10%, 20%. Those percentages may vary, but you are bound to get those exceptions. The key is how do you handle those exceptions. The robotic processes and those bots are existing since last 5 years, or a little bit more, but they have reached to a stage where now, having automated those 80% of repetitions successfully, how do you deal with the remaining 20%, or whatever is that percent, the exceptions? And that's where we say that instead of looking at bots as RPA, we need to start looking at RPM, robotic process management, instead of robotic process automation. So you use your bot. We are not saying take your bot away. You use your bot, you continue to do that, but use that within the context of a process, within the context of an automation. So if there are any failures and exceptions, it must trigger something else. It either trigger another app which you would have developed using low code, or trigger another communication to the customer if there is something missing. Whatever it requires, that must be done, and the automation journey must continue downstreams and upstreams. And that's where you will we see that the automation with RPA takes you to the next level, and on your way to the digital transformation.
Thank you, Anurag. Brilliantly answered. And in the interest of time, I'll just take up one final question. And this is, what are the main key pain points that a digital platform solves?
Well, I mean, it is an overarching question. You could practically think of any process that you are dealing with in your organization. But if you are looking at prioritizing and which are the top ones, what we see at various customer organizations is that anything and everything to do with your customer engagement, right? Those are the ones which must be taken as priority, or as a first step of your digital transformation. So be it your contact center who are dealing with your customer day in, day out, or your portal through which you are engaging your customers, or through your digital social channels, Facebook, Twitter, and all of those. So all your and touch points with the customers, and what does it result into, whether the touch points are resulting into new applications, new submissions, or queries, or complaints, or just changes or servicing. uh, so depending on what are these touch points resulting into, and the related processes inside your organization. So if a customer is reaching out to you for making any changes into their profile, or their, let's say, relationship, be it a bank, whether it is an account or an insurance company, it's a policy, and they want to make any change in that, and what must be done inside your organization to do all of those changes. So one is your customer touch point, and the second is all your middle office, back office that we talked about earlier. So if you look at from that perspective, and you map it on a journey of a customer from start to finish, how does the request comes in and how it gets done, all such touch points, applications, people, department who contribute into this entire process, I would say those would be your ideal start point.
Perfect. Thank you, Anurag. We really appreciate your time and valuable insights. Nugent will send across a copy of the recording to all the registrants. Those who were not able to share the questions today, please feel free to send them over via email. We have reached the end of the webinar. Thank you again and have a great rest of the day ahead.